What's up guys, today we're going to be telling you about the top 5 best budget supercars, so let's get started with the video. Number 5 is the Nissan GT-R.
We put the Nissan GT-R onto this list because it's very cheap and has a lot of power. It also has a very large tuning capability and it could become a great project car. A lot of people do superchargers and turbochargers or just tune it, and it's normally about 450 to 500 horsepower, unless you're getting the new Nismo for a much more expensive price, which has around 600 horsepower. If you have the older models that we're talking about, then those are brilliant cars because they're cheap and they're quite fast as well. And yeah, that's all for GTRs.
Number 4 is the Porsche 911.
Well, before I start talking about the Porsche 911, just to inform you, if you don't already know what a budget supercar is, a budget supercar is a supercar or like a fast car that you can get on a budget. Something that if you can't afford the really expensive high-end supercars or hypercars, then you could just go for a budget supercar because it's much cheaper. Anyways, now with the Porsche 911, we put this car on the list because you could get them very cheap. Even the 2012 models can be cheap. The newer models are a little bit more expensive, but are still quite relatively cheap. The older models, starting from 2009 to 2015 or whatever, 2012, depends on what year you want and what kind of technology you want. Most of the interiors look the same, but we put this onto the list even though it only has a flat 6, which is a 6-cylinder engine. You can get them very cheap no matter what, and they are relatively sporty cars and come with about 400 to 500 horsepower.
Number 3 is the Audi R8.
We put the Audi R8 on this list because it is a relatively cheap car, and the new ones are quite expensive, the V10 one, but the old V8 one was very cheap, and at the time it was quite expensive because it was a brand new car, but nowadays it has gone down in price significantly, and that's why we put it on the list, because it has a big V8 and it has about 400 to 450 horsepower, which is more than enough. And a lot of people consider this car, even though it is a little bit, it is very old-fashioned a little bit in its own way. Audi did that, but this Audi R8 is very luxurious. That's the good thing about Audi R8s. They're luxurious and sporty at the same time, and they are quite fast. So that's all we have for Audi R8s.
Number 2 is the Ferrari 360.
So we put the Ferrari 360 onto this list because it's a Ferrari, first of all, and practically everybody dreams of having a Ferrari one day. So we put it onto the list, and it turns out you can actually get these quite cheap. I love the manual type because it's the gated manual. Who doesn't like a gated manual? That brilliant sound as soon as you do a gear change, it just sounds perfect. Anyways, so you could get these for around 50,000 to 80,000. That's cheap for a Ferrari. Like, some are 250,000, and nobody on a tight budget is going to pay that much. And the Ferrari 360 has around 380 80 to 400 horsepower, depends on which type you get. So that's all.
So number 1 is wait. Just wait a second there. By the way, everybody dreams of having this car. Even a Ferrari fan would dream of having this car brand. So, without further ado, number 1 is the Lamborghini Gallardo.
We put the Lamborghini Gallardo onto this list because it's a Lamborghini. Anybody wants a Lamborghini. And plus, this is a glorious V10. That's the biggest engine out of everything we had on this list. Most of the cars we had on this list were V6s and V8s. But it's a glorious V10. And it's a Lamborghini, so it has that legendary sound. And you could get it in a gated manual. So now everybody must be dreaming of having that. Now, I bet everybody watching right now is probably looking for one right now at this very second and trying to buy one. A gated manual is actually... So a gated manual is a manual, but it's aluminium. It's a metal thing with a metal circular knob on top, and it sounds brilliant when you do a gear change. And of course, it's a brilliant car, and it only comes at a cost of around 55,000 to 100,000, but that's if you're getting the high-end version, you know, like the proper V10, the brand, well, not brand new, because they stopped making them. They stopped it in, I think, around 2012, and then they introduced the Huracan. But the Huracan was the successor, but we're talking about Gallardo here. We're talking about a great car in general. The Lamborghini Gallardo, well, it looks brilliant, and well, the newer version of the Gallardo does look slightly different. It does have LED lights, and I think they got rid of the manual, which is a bit sad, you know. Nobody does manuals these days, sadly. They got the flappy paddle gearbox, aka the, you know, e-gear. So basically, the Gallardo is a great car. That's what we're trying to say. And the new one was slightly changed, you know, because the backlights were strips other than a cube thing, and it had 4 exhausts at the back other than 2. So that's all.
Anyways, guys, this is the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed. So please like and subscribe. Check out our other channel, and bye.